All right, today we are graphing on a coordinate plane. And to graph on a coordinate plane, we need to have an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. So we're trying to remember we're going to walk left or right to the elevator before we ride up or down in the elevator. So an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate make our ordered pair. Okay, here's a good picture of my two axes. The y-axis is vertical and the x-axis is horizontal. This is where the x and y-axis intersect, which is the origin at point 0 on the y-axis and point 0 on the x-axis. If I fold in my flaps here, I can tell the numbers and the names of each quadrant. There are 4 sections to the coordinate plane. Quadrant 1 is on the top right, and then it goes counterclockwise to quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So right now we are working in quadrant 3, and we are going to graph a smiley face at coordinate or ordered pair 2, 3. So I'm going to start at the origin, and the first point is -2, so that means that's where I'm going to move on my x-axis. I'm going to move on my x-axis first to -2, then I'm going to move on my y-axis to -3. So my smiley face goes right here at the intersection of -2, -3. I'm going to graph a blue square at -3, -5. So I'm going to start at the origin, move to the left to -3, and then down to -5 on the y-axis and draw a blue square at -3, -5. Lastly, I want to recognize, just like I have in my other quadrants, what types of values of x and y I see in quadrant 3. So it looks like in quadrant 3, all of my x values are negative, and then all of my y values are also negative. So any time I have an ordered pair of 2 negative numbers, that means that that point will graph in quadrant 3. And lastly, we want to graph in quadrant 4. So for quadrant 4, I'm going to graph a purple flower at 2, -1. So I'm going to start again on my origin. My x value is first, so I'm going to move horizontally 2 places to the right, and then down 1 place to -1 on the y-axis, and put my flower right there at 2, -1. And then I want to graph a little swirl at 5, -4. So I'm going to start at the origin, move to the right, +5 on the x-axis, and then down -4 on the y-axis, and locate a swirl right there at 5, -4. The last thing I want to look at is these 2 points right here. I'm going to graph a lightning bolt, an orange lightning bolt at 4, 0. So I'm going to start again at the origin and move to the right 4 places because that's my x value. Then this time my y value is 0. So that means I'm not going to move anywhere up or down. It's going to be where 0 is located on the y value. So that point is actually going to be located on the x-axis. So anytime that I have a 0 for a y value, that point, those points will be located on that x-axis. Then you can probably predict what will happen if 0 is in the x point, or the x value is 0. If the x value is 0, from this one I'm going to move. I'm not going to move left or right at all, and I'm actually going to move down to -4 on the y-axis and put a pink lightning bolt there. So that means that this particular point is actually on the y-axis. And there you have graphing on a coordinate plane.